Can you see the slide? Whiteboard.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to do the heat transfer problem today. K is the coefficient of thermal conductivity. It is in Kx, means it is in x direction. Ky, it is in y direction. So you see, coefficient of thermal conductivity can depend on the direction. Material need not be isotropic. So phi is the temperature here. Q is the heat source. Heat generated per unit volume is Q. This Q bar is connected with the boundary condition where you are given the heat transfer rate, Q bar. So you can define a functional given by this expression, okay, where these terms signify heat conduction effect. This is there is a heat source generating heat. This is a loss from the boundary. So this is a domain integral, while this is a boundary integral. Gamma represents boundary, and this omega represents domain. So this is a pi. Pi is a total functional. This functional we have to minimize. So this value of this functional becomes minimum in the actual situation. In the actual physical situation, this will be minimum. So what is the first variation of this? Suppose your phi is some values which minimize it. Then you can say pi is equal to corresponding to the actual situation of temperature distribution plus some variation over it. So this is the first variation. You know, there are first order variation, second order variation. So this is the first order variation. So whenever you have a minima, your first order variation is 0. You know all that in when you did your minimizing a function.
सर आपकी ऑडियो ब्रेक हो रही है इससे.
Everyone is finding it is breaking or only you are finding? Any other
break हो रहा है सर, ब्रेक हो रहा है.
ब्रेक होने का क्या मतलब?
मतलब थोड़ा रुक रुक के आवाज आ रहा है सर.
अब तो मैं रुक रुक के बोल रहा हूँ ना. Yeah, I am not speaking with a great flow. I am speaking slowly.
नहीं सर, इंटरनेट इशू की वजह से ऐसा शायद हो रहा है.
तो वर्ड्स भी ब्रेक हो रहा है, जैसे मतलब वर्ड्स बोलने में ब्रेक हो जा रही है.
तो मैं समझ नहीं आ रहा.
हाँ सर, क्लियर मतलब और सेंटेंस पूरा समझ नहीं आ रहा. अभी जस्ट अभी आपकी आवाज क्लियर आ रही है. अभी जब एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे तब ब्रेक हो रही थी सर वर्ड्स.
Look, I am making a recording also. Okay. So you can listen to the recording if you have any problem. Look, whatever I am speaking, it is already told to you many times. Your problem is you don't go and read back at home. Otherwise, you would have followed even with a break in voice. So I will suggest you focus. And if there is any break, it is because I am thinking and speaking. It is not because of internet. Okay. Because I have been teaching for a long time. So I cannot say that there is an internet issue. So you try to focus and you will be able to hear. And if you don't hear it, then tell me, I will repeat it. Okay. Now this is a functional which we have to minimize. Just like you know, potential energy is a minimum for equilibrium situation. Similarly, this functional is a minimum when the differential equation is followed in finding the temperature distribution and boundary conditions are satisfied. If you minimize this functional, still you will reach that answer instead of directly solving your differential equation. Unknown is 5. Now its first variation will be 0 whenever you have a minimum. For example, you do any minimization problem. So you say function value is minimum at some position x only when fx is lower than the nearby fellows, nearby values of x. So that will happen only when first variation is 0, that is your first derivative is 0, and second derivative is positive, then your value of the function at x is minimum, fx is minimum. So first variation has to be 0. So this is calculating the first variation. You take its derivative. Now you see here, what is a variable quantity? 5. And this is a derivative with a 5 with x. So you take the derivative of the entire thing, half kx 2 into del phi by del x. So what is something varying here? You multiply with delta phi x. Phi x means first derivative with x. Similarly, this term half ky twice into del phi by del y into variation in derivative of phi with y, del phi by minus q. Now here directly you have it, its derivative is 1 with phi, so you just get delta phi. So if there is some change in phi, this value will give q delta phi is the change in this term. Here there is some change in this derivative, this is what you will get, minus q bar del phi d omega. Any problem with this? So you go back to your previous class where I did discuss Euler-Lagrange equation. You will find something similar done. Now again I do this line. This del phi by delta of phi x can be written as del by del x of delta phi. You can do it, okay? So these terms commute with each other. This delta can go outside, this delta can come inside. Similarly, you do it here. You take the delta inside and take the derivative outside. In the next step, this is, now you're doing integration by parts. You see this term is derivative with x. You're integrating it over the domain. Okay. So this thing you take down as such. And this integration you will know comes as nx delta phi d gamma. This becomes a boundary integral. So this domain integral converts to a boundary integral. Similarly, this term, and then you take derivative of this part and bring it this delta phi as such. So this is the domain integral. So here you have done integration by parts. So this is integration by parts over a volume. Okay, earlier you used to do over dx only. So this is more complicated than that. For this you have to use Green's theorem. Okay. Plus then similarly you do with this term ky del phi by del y. Now this after integration with y comes del phi, and you have to multiply with a normal vector component in y direction. This n is a normal vector to the boundary, and nx means x component of that normal vector. You see any vector has got three components, x, y, z. Here your integration is happening in, you see, xy plane. You are handling a 2D problem. So this term gives you nx d omega d gamma. Similarly, here you have a derivative with y, so you get ny d gamma. Then there is this derivative of this term because you're doing integration by parts. This integration comes as such, just that you get a ny multiplier. Then you have to differentiate this thing. You get del phi as such. Rest you take a derivative with y, integral with the domain. Then minus q delta phi d omega as such you have brought it down, and this also as such you have brought it down. So you need to look at Green's theorem. This is a very standard theorem. You do it in mathematics. So this way you come to know what is Green's theorem. I have applied it, so you come to know what the Green's theorem does. And if you read it in mathematics books, you will understand it better. Now what I do, I try to bring, I'm bringing down these things, same thing down here. I have clubbed the delta phi terms. You see here you are having delta phi multiplier, and this is a domain integral, so you bring it here. Similarly here there is a delta phi term, and there is a domain integral, you bring it here. Similarly this q, you bring it down, and all these terms are having a minus sign. So you bring the minus sign here, multiplied by delta phi d omega. Then you bring the surface integrals or line in this integrals over the boundary. So integrals over the boundary, you see delta phi is there and this term is there. So you club them here. And there is again boundary integral delta phi into this. So you take delta phi outside and this is this term. And then you are having this minus q bar delta phi d omega. Now you want this first variation to be 0. Now this delta phi is arbitrary. Your variation in phi is arbitrary. So this term has to be 0 inside the bracket in case you want first variation to be 0. So this, and you will see this is the field equation for thermal conduction, for steady state heat transfer by conduction. Similarly, this term, this is a boundary term. So this gamma is a boundary integral over the entire boundary, while this gamma q is a boundary integral over the boundary where you are having Newman boundary condition. You are given your heat transfer rate. So what you do, this you make delta phi 0, where you are given the value of temperature over the boundary. You can force it to be 0. Okay. So this integral turns into a integral over only region gamma q. So now this is one term. This becomes this equation. Suppose delta phi is, since delta phi is arbitrary, term inside the bracket should be 0. So this term minus q bar should be 0. Only then your first variation is 0. So you see, by using the first variation approach from the potential function we defined pi, we find the field equation satisfied by the phenomena, and also we found the boundary conditions. So this is the boundary conditions to be satisfied on gamma q, where you are given q heat transfer rate q bar. You see q bar is equal to, q bar depends on the temperature gradient at that boundary, and this is your heat flux at the boundary. So these are temperature gradient. This term represents the temperature gradient, del phi by del x, del phi by del y. You take the dot product with nx and ny. So that gives you the heat transfer rate in a particular direction. And you can simplify this term as q bar is equal to kn del phi by del n. Kn del phi by del n. Okay. So using the given function, we have found partial differential equation for a steady state heat conduction problem, with q being heat source and q bar heat flux at gamma q. Vijender Prasad, how do you feel?
Yes, sir.
You are happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone who is unhappy? Look, these things require some work at your end also, not at my end only. And this is like your area, your thermal people, and I am doing a thermal problem for you. So you should know what are the differential equations involved, what are the boundary conditions involved. And if I am making any mistake, you get hold of me. Do you think this equation is wrong? Look, if this equation is wrong, you can catch me. Maybe not anywhere else. So you see, I started with the right functional. I started with a functional which gave me this equation. Okay. So something similar to Euler-Lagrange equation business I have done. So this is the field equation. This is our Newman boundary condition. This is our Dirichlet boundary condition. Then I had told you how to handle this by weak formulation. You multiply with the weighting function n to the entire equation, integrate over the domain, plus a weighting function for this Newman boundary condition. And for if both these conditions are equations and condition are satisfied, this will sum to be 0. Okay. Choose any weighting function, this will be 0. So this is, you have converted a differential equation to an integral formulation. This is called integral formulation. The advantage is here you need a second derivative of phi. By weak form, we will shift one derivative to n and reduce the derivative requirement on phi. So that is the main advantage of weak formulation. So now we are doing the same exercise. First we do integration by parts. You take this term, integration by parts. This will be kx del phi by del x into nx integral over the boundary. And n will come down as such. Similarly for this term, ky del phi by del y ny n will come down as such. Minus other term. As we are doing integration by part of this thing, it comes down as such, and del n by del x. Similarly for this term, q into n comes as such down, plus n bar, this I am repeating here. Any problem with this, Vijendra Prasad? This has been done 20 times till now. Any issues? You are still free to ask. Vijender ji,
No problem.
नहीं समझ आ रहा?
नहीं आ रहा सर.
तो बेटा हाँ बोलो ना, yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
I will think that my strong wicket has fallen down. If you keep quiet, you are my strong wicket. Okay. Now, if I take n bar as minus n, then you see, if n bar is minus n, this term is knocked out with this term. And now I will take this term onto the right hand side. This is this integral q and d omega plus n q bar. Okay. This was n bar minus n bar q bar. N bar is taken as minus n. So this is my integral statement after integration by parts. And I have satisfied, I have got rid of this term by using this trick. It is in my hands to choose whatever weighting function I choose. So I choose n bar as minus n. Any problem with this? This trick has been done many times before. Now this phi we have to find. This phi we can write as ni phi I. This is a linear interpolation of phi using shape functions. So this is Einstein notation. It means n1 phi1 plus n2 phi2 plus n3 phi3, etc. Now this n, this weighting function, we choose as these shape functions. Suppose we choose a shape function j, nj as n, and this phi is ni phi I. So what is del phi by del x? Phi I is a constant, nodal values, where n depends on, ni depends on xy coordinates. So it becomes del phi by del x becomes del ni by del x into phi I. So that I am doing. Any problem, Bhujendra Prasad?
सर n तो सर वेटिंग फंक्शन है ना सर, वेटिंग फंक्शन, वो फिर शेप फैक्टर आपने बताया
It is arbitrary. I have chosen weighting function as my shape function. I told you in Galerkin method we do this. We choose our weighting function as our shape function. So this is a shape function which is describing interpolation of our field variable. So we choose the same function. So these are a lot of them. For each node you are defining a weighting shape function. So you choose n. First you choose n1, then n2, then n3. As many weighting functions you will choose, so many equations you will generate. You get my point? Suppose you choose a weighting function which is having value 1 at node 1, and everywhere in the domain it is 0. So that will give you, with that you will just get that your differential equation is satisfied just at that point. If you take it over an element, n is equal to 1, everywhere as 0, then you will say your differential equation is satisfied in an integral form over that element. So you have different variations of shape functions, weighting functions, but you can choose them as shape functions. Okay, I have done it earlier also. You guys don't look back at your notes. So you choose that nj. So your n is nj, while your phi is what? Ni phi I. Ni phi I means summation. N1 phi 1, N2 phi 2, N3 phi 3. So this is lot of terms. This is lot of terms. Okay. So n is nj. Any problem with this? So I am generating the jth equation. Yes, Vijendra Prasad?
नहीं सर, क्लियर है सर मुझे.
Okay, now you see I can define a stiffness term kji. So this is my kji. So I'm picking kx del j del ni by del x, ky del nj del n by. What this stiffness term will multiply? Phi I. So stiffness matrix and your phi vector is different. So you have to just multiply like a dot product. Row of stiffness matrix with column vector of phi variable. So I have picked a term called kji. Any problem with this? As you will, suppose you take j is equal to 1, then when I is equal to 1, you will get k11. When I is equal to 2, you will get k12. When I is equal to 3, you will get k13. When I is equal to 4, you will get k14. So you are generating the first row of your stiffness matrix. Okay. Now, if suppose you have taken an element like this, you have got nodes. This is the length and breadth of the element. So you can say your shape functions are given by this. I had explained earlier, shape functions are fine. The shape function of value of at point 1 should be 1. At other points, it should be 0. So if this n1 should have value 1 here. So what are the coordinates of point 1? A and minus b. X coordinate is A, Y coordinate is minus b of node 1. So you put the value of X as A and Y as minus b. So you'll see that this value becomes 1. Suppose you put the value of node 2 here. Node 2 is x is equal to a, y is equal to b. Once you put y is equal to b, this becomes 0. Similarly, you'll find that value of shape function is 1 here, 0 at these nodes. Similar thing I have done with node n2, n3, n4. These are some shape functions. How will the shape function look like? It would look like a variation where value is at 1 here, 0 else other places. So it will be changing throughout the element. It will be going linearly from in this direction to 0, in this direction to 0, and in the direction towards 3 also it will go to 0. Okay. So you will have a variation of it over the element. Now you can find its derivative with x, y of all these elements. Del n1 by del x, del n1 by del y. So all that can be found. For finding k11, you put the values here. When it k11, j and I both become 1. So this is what you get. You put the values. This you have to integrate over this square or rectangle. Similarly, you want k12. So this is the expression. K22, this is the expression. So these integrations you have to do. So these are your area integrals. Any problems? Vijender Prasad, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
So we have found stiffness matrix. Similarly, you can find force vector. What are the force vector terms? These are the force vector terms. This is a heat source. If you have a constant volume heat source over the entire body, N1, so this will give you the first term. N2, second term of the vector, third term of the vector. So these are giving you first, as you change J, you get the first term, second term, third term of the vector. Similarly here, same thing we had done also in when you had used a body force problem or elasticity, a problem of self weight. You go in through that, you will find similar terms, forcing vector calculated. So using this thing, you can solve a heat conduction problem, actual problem. Now this is divergence theorem. I am just repeating divergence theorem again. So divergence theorem can be written in several ways. If phi is a scalar and you are multiplying with ni, what is ni, Vijender Prasad? Vijender Prasad,
Yes, sir.
what is ni?
The n is the direction vector for in particular direction.
Anyone else who can tell what is ni?
Sir, normal vector. Unit normal vector.
Yeah, it is a normal vector to the boundary. Your boundary has a normal vector, and ni means ith component of that normal vector. So phi nx, phi ny, phi nz. It can have all three values. Okay. So this will be equal to phi comma I and over the domain integral. So you see, this is like a vector quantity. You could have written it as phi n1 plus phi n1 comma phi n2 comma phi n3. Three separate components. Okay. and this would have been given as gradient of phi over the volume. Del phi by del x, comma del phi by del y, comma del phi by del z, integrated over the volume. You had done this in the case of NIS, so told you what is the force caused by pressure. What is the force caused by pressure? Minus P Ni ds. Then I had told you this will be equal to gradient of pressure over the volume. If pressure is uniform everywhere, gradient of pressure becomes 0. So you don't have to do all that calculation and you directly get an answer 0, 0, 0. So this is your flow rate from the boundary, Vi Ni. Velocity V dot N, this is nothing but a dot product of velocity with N, something like a flux. Like you had a flux of electric field I discussed, E dot N. This integral you want to find, this you can write as divergence of this vector, Vi comma I, over the volume. So you in vector form you can write like this, V dot N is equal to divergence of velocity. This is Einstein's notation. Vi comma I means del V by del X plus del V by del Y plus del V by del Z. Sorry, del V1 by del X plus del V2 by del Y plus del V3 by del Z. So all this I have taught you earlier. So this you can write in vector form like this. This is a component form. This is nothing but V1 N1 plus V2 N2 plus V3 N3. This is a summation of 3 terms. Similarly, you could have done this. Here you took a scalar here you took a vector dot product N, and here you are having a tensor. Sigma ij nj d gamma integral is equal to, this is the answer, sigma ij comma j d gamma. Comma represents derivative. These things I have told you. This is shows stress gradients. Now if you have something of this form, f vi ni, you see this is some function, scalar function. This is your vector v dot n. Now how do you handle it? Since this ni is multiplying with this entire thing, you will write it as fvi comma I. Here you did a multiplied with j, nj, so you did derivative with j. Here it was vi ni, you did derivative with I. You see, you are doing derivative with whatever is the component you are multiplying. So you have to do the derivative of the entire thing, fvi comma I d omega. Now this thing you can expand as f comma I. This is just simple differentiation process. Product rule of differentiation, f comma I vi plus f vi comma I. So at times you have to find this integral. So how do you find this integral? You take this thing to the left hand side, fvi comma I d omega is equal to this minus f comma I vi d omega. Okay. So you see what I did? I wanted to find its integral. So this can be written as this simple product rule of differentiation. Then this thing can be converted to this by Green's theorem. So this way you see this derivative was on V. I shifted it to F. So this is the advantage of doing all this. So I taught you about divergence theorem. You have to do it by your own hand. Only then you will be able to do it correctly in the exams. It's not that easy. People keep forgetting it all the time. So these two slides I have already uploaded on your Google page. Okay. So you can look at things. Look, I have given you some assignments. You look at them. Few things you may think that I have not already done. Look at this. Can you see this page? FEMIPMTech.pdf.
Yes, sir.
So this is, do you recognize this equation?
So, sir, is elliptic partial differentiation.
Yeah. So this is elliptic partial differential equation, right? Something similar to your heat conduction equation. And this is, as had f been 0, it would have been Laplace equation. It is equal to f. This is Poisson's equation. So this is a very standard equation. So using Galerkin approach, you can do this. I have already done weak formulation to you. Same thing, this which I did for heat, just now heat conduction. You have to do this for this. It's a simple stuff. And using a unit square element, find one term of the stiffness matrix using bilinear interpolation. This I just did it for you. Okay. So you have to do this. Now it is asking for a system shown in figure 1. Now figure 1 is not there. What is the figure 1 here? You take a system of, you just take 3 matrices. Okay. 3 springs. So you will have 3, 4 nodes and you apply force at the last node and you want to find displacement of different points. Okay. Different nodal points. And you choose the stiffness of the springs. Take all as K or K1, K2, K3. So you have to do this exercise. What is potential energy in this case? Potential energy of the spring and potential energy of the loading mechanism. So potential energy of the spring is half K1 x1 square plus half K2 x2 square. So you see there will be some trick in this. If your nodal displacement is x1, nodal displacement is x2, nodal displacement is x3. What is the stretch in the spring? Suppose your first node is having displacement 1, second node is having displacement 2, and there is a spring in between. So what is the stretch of the spring? x2 minus x1. Okay. So what is the strain energy? Half K into x2 minus x1 whole square. Similarly for the other springs you do. You just see all these things. Not a big deal. Truss problem I did already for you. You can choose the same truss problem, which I did. You take a triangular truss, 60-degree angle between each of the arms, and solve it. Apply a force in horizontal direction and vertical direction. Hello. कहाँ से? ओके ओके. हाँ हाँ चल रहा है. कब आओगे आप? आ जाओ. ओके ओके. So you have to find element stiffness matrix for each element, global stiffness and nodal displacements. This I have not done yet, so you leave it. Euler-Bernoulli beam, I have done it already for you, so you can do it. And you take a 2-node element as I did in the class. And you can do the case for the uniform loading problem. You apply a uniformly distributed load over the beam. This is another problem. A rod is rotating with angular velocity omega. You have to find the axial distribution in the rod using this. Use only centrifugal force. So you can treat centrifugal force as a body force. So I already told you how to do the self-weight problem. So you can do this problem also. So what is the centrifugal force on each element? You see acceleration of each element, you can find rho omega square multiplied by distance from the axis of rotation. So that is the acceleration of that element of length dx. So it becomes rho omega square x dx. So that is the body force on that element. So you see how you can do it. Then this is a steady state heat conduction problem. You can take a simple problem of your heat transfer from your heat transfer book and try to do it. This is for one-dimensional heat conduction. You take a film, divide into some 4 elements, and I have given you the data. You have to find temperature at different nodes. This is for a 2D heat conduction. You can take a square and nodes in that, and you know the boundary conditions. Just try to find the temperature distribution. Boundary conditions on the sides of this. You see there are 4 boundary conditions here at all the 4 boundaries. You try to handle it. This is a convective heat transfer, HT minus T infinity. So whatever is the heat loss due to heat conduction is going out through convection. So you have to do this. So I've given you 2-3 assignments. Whatever you can do, you do. Vijender Prasad, what is your condition?
Yes, sir.
So you have to work at home, solve as many problems as you can. In fact, all of you have to do it. Next week, all of you discuss these problems in the Google Classroom. So Vijender Prasad, you invite everyone. I will not invite. Okay. So you will be conducting the class.
Okay.
And each of you should try to see what they can do. And by the end of the week, you have to submit the assignment. Whatever all problems you can do, 3 assignments I have sent you. Most of it you can do. So everyone should know how things are being done. So it is kind of a collaborative project. It is not a project of one person. So it's a problem given to 20 people. Just do it. Sit among yourself on your class days. Any doubts you sort out among yourself. And you have to submit the assignment. How you do, I don't know. Whether everyone submits individually or you submit a collective answer. But then in the week following, I will call anyone and ask him how this problem is done. If you say, I don't know, my friend has done, then you get a 0. And if you say that this is the way it is done, fine. So this is an exercise where you have to learn from each other. If none of you knows, then everyone gets a 0 because I will know that you are all preparing for IAS. Okay. This is what MTech fellows do. So I will immediately conclude from my past experience that these guys are here only to make a fool of the teacher. So I will give you peacefully 0. So I am giving you 1 week to learn what I have already taught you. Because I am just teaching you are listening or not listening, I don't know. So after 1 week, I will know where you stand. Vijendra Prasad, any problem?
ठीक है सर.
So 20 brilliant fellows having all the notes. Problems are there, you work on them. Sit with each other any time in the day. You see, you guys are free to collaborate with each other and produce an answer. I don't mind a single answer, but I will discuss in the class and call individually the students to see if they know. My target is that you should know all these things. I have no other target to find out. I am not happy if somebody says he doesn't know. I am happy to give everyone 100 out of 100. So you have to exert yourself. And collaboration is the key to success. If somebody knows something, he tells others. Other fellow works on something else, he tells others. So this way you have to grow. Only then you can understand every part of the subject. Because in the days to come, this subject will become more difficult. And this is the background of that subject, which I have given you till now. You have to work with your own hands. Only then you will get a handle on it. So I think I have made myself clear and the class is over.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you provide recorded videos of previous classes? It will help us in revising.
Whatever I have made, I will show you. I will put it. Okay. I will
Okay.
send you the links. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.